My name is Samuel. How are you?
All good. Nice meeting you, Sameh.
I would like to start off by asking you a few questions. So, just what motivates you to get into the work that you do?
First of all, my name is Sameh Hassan. I'm the chairman of the Northwest Islamic Association. I have been involved with the association since the start as a founding member. This goes back to about 8 years ago. What motivates me to get into this? It's one simple thing. Like, if you want something to be done, you need to get in and do it. Don't wait for other people to do it. I was thinking about lots of things that I believe should be done for the community, but I was not seeing this happening. And then I said this to myself: like, if you want something to be done, get on and do it yourself. Don't wait for others to do it for you.
What are some of the common misconceptions about Muslims?
Well, I'm afraid there's a lot of misconceptions about Muslims, and all of this is false. Some of the most common misconceptions about Muslims is things to do with terrorist attacks and all this, and this represent Muslims. It's obviously far from true. Any terrorist attacks that happen in the world, like, does not represent Islam, and does not represent the mainstream of Muslims. Muslims in general, they are against violence and against everything to do with terrorism. So this is one of the most famous misconceptions, that Muslims and supporters and support jihad, and the term jihad, for example, give you an idea about it. Like, people think that jihad is a holy war, and that Muslims or Islam is encouraging jihad and all this. And jihad, actually, it's an Arabic word that means struggle. And the main jihad, we believe that we are all in this life in jihad. We are all in struggle. And the main struggle, or the main jihad one has to go through, is struggle against himself, against doing wrong. So this is the main struggle that all humans should be going through, to struggle against themselves to do good. Another misconception about Islam is that Islam doesn't give rights for women, and that women in Islam has no rights and they are oppressed and all this. And again, this is far from true. Islam has given women rights 1400 years ago that women Europe just got them 150 years ago. The wife of Prophet Muhammad herself was a businesswoman. She was a very successful businesswoman. And so women had the right to own, had the right to have her own finances, had the right to choose in marriage and divorce, even. Many rights Islam have given to women. Women has been involved in voting in early days of Islam. The first Muslim woman scholar was the wife of Prophet Muhammad. She was giving talks and educating people. So women in Islam has got all the rights. Okay, that we might think about it now that so what? A woman has the right to own. A woman has the right to own now, but Going back 150 years ago, women in Europe didn't have that height. Women in Islam had this height 1400 years ago. So one of the most common misconceptions, women in Islam doesn't have heights, but it's false.
What barriers did you have to face when joining in employment?
I'm not sure if there was much of barriers for me, like in terms of my work, in terms of my religion. Probably one of my biggest barriers here was the accent when I moved to Dubai. Like the accent was probably a bit strong for me to understand at the start, but you get used to this. In terms of practicing my faith, there was no particular challenges that I faced.
Have you ever been discriminated against because of your religion?
Luckily, I didn't go so such experience myself. But for example, my wife went through it. My wife experienced a hate attack, like she was physically and verbally assaulted because she's wearing hijab, and unfortunately this happened in midday in the city center, and people were around, so it was a shocking experience for us as a family. But we get lots of support from local people in the city, like people were very empathetic and very supportive for our family during this difficult time. So.
In what ways does representation in media affect perception of your religion?
It does, because there's lots of misconceptions and misinformation out there, whether on mainstream media or social media, and it seems that a lot of negative things about Muslims out there, and it does impact people view about Muslims, kind of zoom in on the negatives and amplify it. There's about 1.9 billion Muslims in the world. That's 1 in every 4 people walking in this earth is a Muslim. The fact that a smaller number, very small percentage of this are doing something wrong or have committed something wrong, this doesn't paint all 1.9 billion people, Muslims, Muslim peoples, with the same brush. It shouldn't, but unfortunately media, whether intentionally or unintentionally, does this, and sometimes in direct ways, sometimes in subtle way, but this is why we think the work that we do is very important, because at least try to change the narrative locally in the community that we live in here in the city.
Would you find it difficult fasting in a workplace?
Personally, I don't find a great impact of fasting on me, maybe because of the nature of my work. Maybe some other people might have different experience. I personally find that during fasting, for example, I don't take my breaks. I don't go for breakfast or lunch. So I find the day is actually longer. I have much more time to do the things that I need to do. Being lighter sometimes, like it helps. Sometimes I feel in a low energy mode, so it could impact me this way. But there are positives and negatives for this. Luckily now fasting is not as difficult like going back 6, 7, 8 years ago. Ramadan used to come in the summer, so it's very long days, sunset maybe 10 p.m. So that was a more difficult one, especially with managing sleep. But at the minute, like with Ramadan moving forward, because Ramadan keep coming earlier, 11 days every year, because it's based on the lunar calendar. So now this year Ramadan will be, the whole month will be before the time change, so it will be all March, and so it's much easier at the moment.
Do you get holidays such as Eid off work?
I do get holidays for my annual leaves. There's no official holiday from work, but I do have my own holidays, so I'll be very strict about taking days off for Eid, even like for my kids. Like I will not send them to school during Eid day, because this is religious celebrations, time for them to have joy and enjoy family time. So we do take time off for celebrating, but this is not official. We just take from our annual leaves.
Well, thank you for your time, Sameh.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tammie.
Hi, Tammie. Nice meeting you.
So, do you feel that your faith is well represented in Derry, for example, good places of worship?
Well, we at the moment have a place, a community center slash Islamic center slash mosque. You could name it whatever, but it's a multi-purpose place which is serving our community as a hub for our community. And we have very diverse communities. It's not a big community, but we come from over 25 countries. So our center is acting as a hub for the community to come together for social events, for education, and for worship as well, because we have the requirements of our faith. For example, we come together for congregation on Friday. Friday is our holiday, just like Sunday for you. And we have Sunday school. Again, kids come and learn language, Arabic language, and they learn Islamic studies as well, because they lack this part of education in the normal school curriculum. So it's serving our community in different ways. We have the place for now. Community is growing, but we are happy that at least we have a place at the minute to come together.
Would you find washrooms for wudu be placed around the city helpful?
We don't really need special washrooms per se for wudu. Like whenever anywhere, like shopping center, I'll just use a normal toilet. We might be causing a bit of more splash than normal because of the way we do. But we don't need special washroom for us that need to be present in different places. I use a normal washroom in my workplace, so it's not a requirement for the Muslim community. Yeah.
Do you think people should be more aware of your religion?
I think it's quite important that people understand each other. Um, like there's 25% of the world population are Muslims, one every four people, and this by itself is a good reason why people should learn about Muslims, their culture, their faith. There's lots of misconceptions out there about Muslims in the media as well, and it is important that people educate themselves about these things. And the best way to learn about this is to hear directly from a Muslim. And this is what we have been trying to do, is to connect with people directly, face to face, and just whenever people talk and ask questions and um, listen to how much of common things we have and common ground we have as people of faith or as humans in general, and even sharing as differences as well. There's no problem to be different. We just got to respect each other. So it is quite important that people learn about each other's faith and understand each other better.
Can you give an example of maybe a positive experience that would maybe help you feel more comfortable around the city?
One of the things that I like most about the city here is that the support for justice or condemning injustice in the world. Giving example of some of the atrocities that have been happening in other parts of the world, which happen to be mostly in Muslim countries. Most of the wars and disasters that you see are mostly in Muslim countries. So the support of the people of the city for justice and the fight against injustice, it gives me comfort. I feel more comfortable living in the city and seeing that people, regardless of their faith or race, they come together to condemn injustice.
How can people in this city support you or your organisation in supporting equality?
I think there's a lot needs to be done in terms of clearing misconceptions, and there are sometimes maybe it depends on the on age, on other things. Like you could find some groups that need more education about this. The good thing about people in the city here is that because of big families and they talk more about what's happening, and it is important that people speak and against anything that they see wrong in terms of inequality, like some of the negative stereotypes about Muslims, for example. So I always say to people like who we speak to, you have heard from us. Please spread the word. Like the people come to our center, speak to us, and they leave with totally different perception about Muslims. And I always ask them to spread the word. Like at the end of the day, we're all humans. Maybe we have different beliefs, different faiths, but we need to fight these stereotypes and these misconceptions. And the best way to do this is through education, so teaching others, and it is a responsibility for everyone to teach people around him or her.
Sameh, how do you think young people could really help bring about positive changes in the city?
Well, as Muslims here in the city, we come from all walks of life. You find a lot of people, for example, working in the hospital. And now many people come to work in the university, in some of the companies. And there are people even who are coming here as refugees. Okay, everyone is contributing in a different way. So if you go to the hospital, you will definitely bump into a Muslim doctor, whether male or female. So many Muslim doctors in the hospital now. And everyone in his job is contributing to a positive society. Even with some of the refugees, like, people have misconceptions that all those refugees are coming to take benefits and all this. But many of those refugees are professional people. Some of them are actually, they used to be university staff. Some of them were engineers. Some of them, who I know personally, were studying medicine. But they have to flee from their country because of the war, or because of all the trouble that is happening in different countries. So those people, they can contribute to society. They can do positive things in society, and some of them, I saw now some engineers started working, and they started career here. So as Muslims from in different parts and different fields in the city, everyone is contributing. The other thing is the contribution of our diverse Muslim community to the culture in the city. Like I said, we are very diverse, coming from 25 different countries. This can be a way to enrich the society in different ways. Now we start to see more, for example, the restaurants from different cuisines, from different parts of the world. So it could be nurturing to our city in a very positive way.
Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Lovely talking to you.
Thank you.